Now let's go ahead with SQL injection. What SQL injection means? SQL injection simply means if we have implemented an application or a website, sometimes we leave such loopholes that user can break those loopholes and can do some unexpected things to our website, like breaking error queries or getting data from database, or doing some kind of unauthorized stuff like logging in without providing the right information. So these are some of the unexpected things that user can do if we leave any kind of loophole in our application. So now I will let you know how we deal with this SQL injection stuff. So here you can see, if I'm having a form like I'm running my query, MySQL query, select star from users where name is equal to $name. So let's take a form. I take an input variable. Type is equal to text. Name is equal to u_name. I take a submit button. So this is my form. So what I'm writing, select star from students where student underscore name is equal to, so here I'm taking $username is equal to $_post post. I'm not able to see. If this is set, then we should get it. Otherwise, default we will take as, like, we can do parse. So I'm passing this username here. So this is the case. I'm running this query. So now user is entered to and free to enter anything. So I'm writing if not empty username, then it should perform this. Now see what happens. So this is the post name that we're getting, and we are passing this name here. So here I'm getting select star from students. Okay, just a second. Okay, it should be blank. So here I'm getting the form. So if I take it varchef and I submit, I get select star from student where student name is equal to varchef. Now user is free to enter anything here. He can enter percentage as well. So this is the loop host that I have left in my database. Now you can understand percentage simply means any character. So this is a SQL injection that user tried to inject it and get the whole information of our. So this is the way user can pass any kind of information. Like this way he can enter anything, like means he can break our query. By any way he can break our query this way. So this simply means either we will be getting some SQL error or our whole data will be exposed to the user, because instead of passing that data in the field, he is passing SQL query, and that query is being executed. Whatever he is passing, we are passing it to the value. So if he passes some SQL query in the input field, it is being appended to our query and it is being executed. This simply means that our system is totally unsecure. User can pass any query. Even he can pass a delete query and delete our table. So here we can see what I am doing. So this is really pathetic. Let's take this example. So let's take a table, create a new table, ID test table, ID int 11, name varchar 100. Let's take only these two fields because we are anyways going to delete this table. Means we are going to use it to delete the stuff. So here comes the test table. Now see what I'm going to do. I'm passing this thing. Like I'm having some records. 1, test 1, 2, test 2, 3, test 3. So I'm going to pass this value, delete from test table. So I have passed the query now in the field. Now see what happens. Now see what happens. Now this query has been passed to the database. Now what I do, I comment it and I run my query. Now see what happens. Instead of passing a value, I'm passing a query. Let's print it, but let's not die. So now if I save, now what happens? Select star from students with name is equal Alfred, delete from test table. Now if you refresh, what is not executed? Okay, sorry. Where student's name. So this is going to pass. There was some error in the query, so we'll do it again. I click on save. Now see, I have passed this query into my field, and apart from sending select star from students where name is equal to this, means passing the value, apart from passing the value, I have passed one more query, delete from test table. Let's see it again. Then you will be clear what I want to say. Here are three records, test 1, test 2, test 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this value in the text field. Let's make a size bigger. So I'm passing a name Alfred, and with semicolon I'm passing a query. So when I will click on save data, now see what happens. It is not doing by so. Oh, sorry again. It should be student underscore name. So here I'm doing Right now there are 3 records, and I'm clicking on save data. Why it is not deleting? Okay, I think there is some issue with firing multiple queries in MySQL query. So here you can means you people might have understand that I'm passing a query, and this query is deleting the records from my table. So rather than passing a simple value, I'm passing the query, and it is being executed in the database. So this is the worst case that can happen. So this thing is basically called SQL injection. I can pass query, I can pass some unexpected value, and I can log into your system. I can access your database, I can delete your database. So this is the worst scenario. So this is the most unsecure thing that we usually do in our application. So this is called SQL injection. So how to avoid, so are you people aware of SQL injection? Okay, Vasif, are you aware of? Okay. Okay, how to avoid this SQL injection? So what we can do, we are having a function in PHP that is called magic quotes GPC. Magic quotes GPC simply means if we are having a string like this, this is test. So if this is the case, if I put into get magic quotes, it will append backslash in front of each quote. So if basically this is a PHP INI setting, if this setting is on, so here I'm checking if get magic GPC quotes GPC returns true, simply means in PHP INI this setting is on. What I'm going to do, this is basically PHP function to check the GPC is on or not. So we are having 2 functions in PHP. One is add slashes and one is strip slashes. Let me show you these 2 functions. Add slashes. So what function this function basically do? We pass it a string and it adds slash to each and every special character. Let me give you an example for the same. If I am having a string str is equal to this is Mohit's first program. So if I simply print this string, now see what gets printed. This is Mohit's first program. Now if I add slashes to it, now see, before between Mohit and S there is a quote, and before the quote a backslash comes. So this is the thing that if we are getting special characters from our input, we can add slashes to them. For example, user tries to pass double quotes here as well, but it will give you error. Means if there is any kind of single quote or double quote and user uses, for example, if in his form user passes either single quotes or double quotes, he gives the name, for example, in the field he not writes the name like this, he writes it like this. So what we will do before passing it to our function or the processing thing where we have to do the processing for that particular variable, we will add slashes in front of it. Let me show you the example. Now we are not going to print any SQL. I'm going to show you simply use of add slash in step slashes. If not empty username, dollar username is equal to add slashes dollar username, and I'm going to print it. Now if I try to do this thing, Mohit, instead of writing simply Mohit, I'm doing Mohit. If I click on this, so you can see it has added backslash before my quotes. So this is how it tries to, means backslash in PHP, backslash simply means if there is a special character, its value will not be interpreted, it will go as it is. Means if I have put a backslash in front of quotes, it will be interpreted as quote. It will not, it will be, system will read it as quote, not as a special character. It will not interpret it and do the functionality as per its function. So this is to add the slashes, means if we are getting some unexpected string from user or unexpected value from user, it will be backslashed. It will be disabled kind of. It will not get its literal value. So if I do have add slashes, now I do strip slashes. Now see what happens. Now add slashes adds the basically backslash, and strip slashes removes those backslash. It interprets the value of that particular variable. So this is the difference between add slash and strip slash. Like we are having function in PHP that is called add slashes, in MySQL functionality we are having a function MySQL real underscore escape underscore string. So the mistake that we have done earlier, where so if we are getting a string from the user, it should be basically escape. It should be means the backslashes should be added only once. So here I'm checking the condition. If this setting is on, so I'm going to strip the slashes first. I'm going to remove the slashes. Then I'm going to use the MySQL function to add the slashes. Or for example, this function MySQL real escape string, what this function do? If user is passing like ampersand or he is passing quote or anything, it will add backslash in front of that and it will read it as it is. It will not get the interpreted value for that particular thing, for particular variable, for particular value. So this function basically is used to avoid SQL injection. It will not interpret the query as it is. It will add slashes and it will not make it execute on the system. So this is one way to avoid SQL injection. We use this function before passing our variable to the query.